Hey champ, welcome to our 5th installment of the Indoor Survival Guide, just tips and strategies for how to adjust to the great indoors. This is our 4th strategy tip for the week, and we're going to go into just how to contribute more during this uncertain time. Yesterday we talked about how to better prepare so you're making less trips outside and you're being more efficient so you're setting yourself up for success. Today I want to get into just how to contribute, kind of using this time to continue to support local businesses and your local community. Again, I'm Coach Nate, and I've been a trainer for 5 years. I've been doing obstacle course racing for 8, and I help decision makers at companies use obstacle course racing to grow their teams, their culture, and ultimately their profits using my 8-step champion method. Now, a big part of the champion method is winning that internal game so that by the time you show up for that event, you are living that champion life and you are already living into that version of your best self. Now, that's a huge component of my branding. It's a huge component of what I teach. And I wanted to just kind of share with you a few tips today, just 4 specifically, on how to contribute to your local environment. So the big thing right now is support local businesses. During this uncertain times, there's a lot of local businesses that are just hanging on by a thread right now. Maybe they're not sure where their next paycheck's going to come from. They're not sure how to continue their organization moving forward because the county, the state has shut down the entire area, and there's just not a lot of business coming in now. Maybe they can't actually support their clients on in person, so they have to come up with a new online model, and they're adjusting to that service. Sometimes, based on the industry, that is not an option. So finding ways to continue to support those products and those services that you can, that are still manageable, is going to help create that community on the back end where we can ensure the companies that we still know and love are going to be there on the back end of this crisis. So I just want to highlight a few companies that I've been working with, that are some friends of mine, and that really do some really amazing work. So the first one that I want to highlight here is called the Soapy Paw Shop. Okay, the Soapy Paw Shop. So the Soapy Paw Shop is a soap company that makes and sells soap out of Southern California. Their proceeds go to rescued dogs. So not only are you supporting a great soap making company that's local in Southern California, you're also supporting rescued dogs, and it's going to a great cause as well. In addition to that, they make really amazing soaps, just use a lot of organic ingredients. They take ingredients from the farmer's market, local grocery store, his own backyard, and they make and they sell these really amazing soaps. So one of them I have right here is the Mahogany. So great wood-based soap. I have a leather scented soap in my shower right now. This is a amber and cedar. And then I also have a vanilla and coffee one as well. Really unique scents. You're not going to find these anywhere else. And I just want to make a shout out to Cookie in Southern California. Just keep making amazing soaps, and definitely support this guy if you can, because this is a great time to focus on hygienic routines. Make sure you're washing your hands with soap and water, stocking up on soap. They do ship nationally and internationally as well. The turnaround is going to be a little bit slower based on the shutdown, so he can only make a certain number of trips, but let's make sure that we can support him and his soap making company, because really great cause, really great product. Highly recommend them. The next part is a lot of you have been seeing, especially online, that a lot of people have been getting divorces in the last couple months based on being indoors with their partner a lot. Now, this is kind of a sad thing to see when you're dealing with relationships. You don't want to have each other fighting over things just because you're stuck indoors a lot. This should be a time where you're coming together. So one of my friends, Amanda Toole, she does a company called Sex Talks with Amanda, where she helps open up some of those more difficult conversations in a relationship in related to sex, right? A lot of times when we're indoors a lot, people start just finding things that pull them apart instead of looking for things to bring them together. This is a great way to learn how to communicate more transparently with your partner, be more open and honest about what you want out of a relationship, and just specifically how to have those conversations around sex, which are ultimately going to make a way more fulfilling relationship in the long run. So use this time to invest in yourself and invest in your relationship, and definitely check her out as well. I'll link her resources below. And then the last one is, of course, my OCR Champions program, right? So with this program, I'm in the third run through of the camp right now, or second run through, about to approach the third run through. And I've created a 12-week program that sets the foundation for OCR, really helps a lot of my clients create simple action steps that are going to set them up for how to really conquer that course when they decide to run it. When I first got into obstacle racing, there really wasn't a resource like this. There wasn't a starting point. It was just random information all over the place. And what I found is through this process of just kind of doing the things the wrong way and then learning things the proper way in the industry, and then through trial and error, I've come up with this system that's taken almost 8 years to put together for how to really establish that game plan for your race and create that tactical toolbox so you can see the patterns, you can recognize what you need to work on when you get to an obstacle race, and then just have that confidence moving into that race that you can cross that finish line and actually have fun out there on the course. So I'll link more resources below about that, but just make sure that you're checking out some of these resources, supporting local businesses, and keeping them going during this time, during these uncertain times. Now, the next part that I want to talk about when we're getting to contributing to your community is don't hoard, right? I've been seeing a lot of panic buying, everyone buying up the toilet paper, buying up all the soap, just random, just unfocused buying where they're not really sure if they're ever going to come back outside again. You want to buy 1 to 2 weeks worth of groceries in advance and about a month in advance for supplies, just so that you have enough, but you're not taking everything off of the shelf. You want to be considerate for those less fortunate in our community, some of the older population, and just, other people in your community. If you buy everything the store has, they're not going to have anything left in the store. They're going to have to restock. You just took all the resources in your community for something that you might not be using for the next 6 months. So try to be cognizant that it's a bigger overarching issue here, and you have to think just outside yourself as well when you're making those decisions. The next part is social distancing. So when we're dealing with social distancing, 6 feet apart, trying to reduce the amount of times you're going outside and just reducing the amount of trips to and from places that are more crowded. Grocery stores, anything that you can avoid making those trips, do it more remotely. That's really going to help shorten the spread of this disease, and it's going to flatten that curve, and it's going to just help us get through this time frame so that we can help our medical profession really get ahead of this and manage this crisis on this national and global level. The last part is you want to help your neighbors. During this time, it's really going to be important that you are in constant communication with your neighbors and just are all on the same page. You want to create kind of like a little bit of a neighborhood watch, creating that community that we're talking about, where you're in constant contact with them and you're just looking for patterns. As this continues to develop, as people are getting a little bit more desperate, maybe they'll run out of resources, they're going to try to start stealing and taking things from other people. Now, you don't want to always assume that's going to happen, but you just want to look for patterns. In the law enforcement community, which is a lot of my family is from, it's called situational awareness, right? You want to just be aware of what's happening, look for patterns. If someone's looking into your car at 10 or 11 at night, that is a weird thing to do. So probably they're not up to anything good from that, right? Oh, I lost my keys. No, you didn't. You're looking in my car. You're probably trying to break my window, right? It's just a weird thing to do. So just be aware of that. You know, don't open the door for people you don't know at this time. Just things that you're normally doing, just keep doing those. Make sure you're locking all of your doors, windows, everything that you normally do. Don't be leaving large packages in the front of your house, and then don't leave large boxes near your trash can as well, because it just tells people that you have high value items in your house. And don't leave anything visible in your car. Just the basics, making sure that you're always doing those things is going to be really important, especially during this time where people are getting more desperate. So just quick recap, support your local businesses, don't hoard, keep with the social distancing, try to keep 6 feet apart, and just help out your neighbors during this chaotic time. Now, we're going to continue this series moving into the next part, so keep an eye out for that next video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow where we'll get into that next tip where we're working more on how to just use these resources and these strategies to create more of that semblance of normalcy. So I'll see you tomorrow. Stay safe and take care of each other.